Jai Gurudev, everybody. So, today, actually, I'm a bit, I would not say sad, but I don't find any other word to say. Like I was saying before the Japam, one of my dearest devotee, actually, one of the oldest devotee who have been with me since I was 16 or 17 years, since we met, she and her family came to see me in Mauritius. We have been together all these years, and this morning she passed on to the eternal abode, of course, of Srimad Narayana. And you see, she was such a wonderful soul. When I came to Europe, a little history about that. When I came to Europe, every time she was there, now, there was a time where I didn't have a place to go, and she happily offered, she and her family offered the place when I was studying, also in Paris. In every situation where everyone turned their back, where people who said they love you, they just disappeared like that. She and her family was always there. And throughout her, lately during her illnesses, I visited her. And of course, very often people have seen her in Springen itself. Yesterday, while talking to her, she was saying, promise that you will be there. She wanted to pass on in a very, I say, calm way, without any suffering. And God have given her that. You see, make one realize, how grateful it is, We have not to be grateful only when somebody do something good for you, In life, you have many people around you, And some will love you and some will not love you. We don't need to waste our time with people who doesn't love you, who don't care for you. Why waste your time? Why waste your time in trying to convince somebody that they are wrong? It will never change anything. Be yourself, and appreciate how you are. Life is so finite, I'm talking here in this material world itself. But you have been sent here really to be happy, to realize yourself, and to really appreciate the gift that God has given you. Funny, I was looking, and today I was sitting with Swami Parantapa, and I was analyzing myself, I was looking at myself, I was saying to Swami Parantapa, it's strange. You see, even if earlier I was using the word sad, I don't feel a certain sadness But there are certain memories, you see, especially memories when they were there in every moment of your life. You know? Since, like I said, since 16, 17 years I met them. So literally, that bonding, that friendship was strong. You know? Of course, that carries on, but it is different. And that's what was really touching, you know. So I will ask Swami Revati to ask his question, your question.
Jai Gurudev Guruji, when we go through our spiritual path and our processes, negativity comes out, but I don't know what to do with it. Generally, I hang on to Krishna more in those moments instead of facing the negativity. What is the best way?
You see, it is obvious when you go on your spiritual path that negativity must awake. They awake so that you can transcend them. Because in life, people don't want to face their negativity. What they like to do, they like to brush it under the carpet. You know, because they like to pretend to be perfect. So what they do, they go sideways or they try to avoid. But in reality, why do you think the negativity arises? So that you can look at it. It's not that you have to identify yourself with your negativity. Your negativity is not you. You are beyond that negativity. You are even beyond your positivity. So identifying yourself with that negativity will make you negative. But being aware of it will make you go through it with understanding. So you don't need to run away from your negativity. You don't need to take a whip and whip yourself, say that I am a sinner, I am bad. That will not change that negativity inside of you. The moment you are aware of it, and this is very important because very often people are not aware of the negativity, or they are aware, they don't want to look at it. No, be strong. Face it. Look at it. Go for it. And know that God and Guru is with you, holding you. They will never let you alone into that. But again, you don't need to identify yourself with the negativity. And also on the spiritual path, it's natural that this negativity resurface itself or awake again. Because, you see, it's like, you know the story of the churning of the ocean, no? So when the ocean being churned by the devas and the asuras, you see, the mind and the heart is being the churn, you see. What you are feeling inside and what your mind is thinking, it goes opposite ways, no? So that churning of the ocean, what come out first? The first thing that come out from that churning of the ocean from Bhagavad, you see it is halahar, the poison. So that poison which awake firstly, that negativity which awake firstly into your mind, have to be offered. Like you said yourself, you offer it to Krishna. In the churning of the ocean, that poison, Lord Shiva drank it and hold it. But when you're offering something to someone, it is not yours anymore. You have to understand that once you offer something to somebody, the moment the thing have leave your hand, it is not yours. You can't say, I'm offering to you and holding upon that. Oh, yes. You see, I have met many people in life where they come and give you something. You know, they like you, they give you something. But then later on, they ask you back, give me back what I have given you. For sure, everybody have these kind of people in their life. Is that really an offering? Is that really a giving? No. When you give, it is not yours. So understand that when you say that you offer it to Krishna, you place it at his feet, and it is not yours. You have given it to him. Forget about it. When I'm saying forget about it, it's not like pressing a button, the mind will forget about it. No. It will take its time, it will resurface itself. But you have to remind yourself that you have placed it to Krishna's feet. You have given it to him. It is not yours to deal with it. You as a devotee, you as his servant, you trust your master, no? So if you trust, the master will look after you. The master cares for everybody. So, but if you keep hanging upon that, it will be difficult for yourself. My mom had an auntie. I always say that because it's so really funny. This auntie was like this. When you go to see her, of course, when you go to somebody's house, you don't go empty-handed. So you always bring a gift, or something, a bouquet of flower or chocolate or whatever. So the auntie will always say, why have you, you had problem bringing this gift? So she already put her hand and take the gift. And at the same time saying, you should have not bring anything. So like that, you see, whenever you offer to Krishna, you also similar, you do something, you offer it. Here, please, Bhagwan, take it, but you hold upon it. Yeah, you have not given to him fully. So stop holding upon when you have offered it to Krishna. Yeah. He knows how to handle it, and he knows how to take care of it. Yeah. Very often we think that we know best, because this is the nature. Yeah. So this negativity, when it resurfaces itself when you're awake, it's a reminder that you are not perfect. You still crave for perfection. You still long for perfection. And it is a nice learning process. It's not a bad thing. So go for it and know that Guru and God is standing with you.
Jai Gurudev, dearest Guruji, at times you have advised us to aim to know our true selves. Other times to become God-realized and to be worthy of a vision of God's self like Arjuna was able to do. Other times I have understood the highest aim is to serve Guru and God eternally. I know none of these are possible without your grace. But if we were to pray for that grace, what should we pray for? What is actually the highest aim in life?
You see, when you go to a doctor, a good doctor I'm talking about, for the same kind of symptom, he will give different medicine. You see, if you go to an Ayurvedic doctor, the Ayurvedic doctor will check your pulse. You may have the same symptom, fever, like right now everybody have fever, coughing and so on. Yeah? But a good doctor will not give the same medicine, because a good doctor have not learned just in books. He have learned also that each person is individual. So because of that individuality of the personality of each person, because each person, even on the ladder of spirituality, doesn't stand on the same level. So everybody understand different level. Where they are standing, they will have a different understanding. So the doctor will give accordingly to how the physiognomy, the physiognomy is, how the personality of the person is, a certain medicine. So like that, also, gurus give different advice for different people. For those which is really advanced further, they will tell them, serve Bhagwan directly. Those which have not yet, it will give them a different sadhana to do. But for those which really long for the grace of God, then he will give the sadhana to surrender to Guru. Because those who really want to be humble, for them they should know that service to the Master, service to the Guru is the ultimate one. And through that service of the Guru, they will attain the grace of God. But they have to learn to listen to the Guru. Yesterday, while chanting the Ramayana, one of the verse Goswami Tulsidas said, was, "Blessed are those eyes who have seen the saint." He didn't say that blessed are those eyes who have seen God. Because without having the grace of seeing the saints, the Guru, one will not have that grace to see God. So one sadhana, according to your question, you said, what is the highest aim? In my opinion, the highest aim is to the service of Guru, firstly. The Guru will guide you to God. If Guru doesn't guide you to God, that is not the right Guru. But Guru must, in anything, guide you to only one ultimate reality, that is to the feet of the Lord Himself. So you see, all three are similar. But all start firstly by service to the Master.
Jai Gurudev, dear Guruji, recently during the pilgrimage, you encouraged us to share our stories and experiences that we've had with you. And this is one of the most wonderful and inspiring things. But some people feel like it's something very intimate and they want to keep it. Some even say that they feel a little bit empty after sharing them because other people start to become jealous or project things onto them. So is there something that should stay just between the devotee and the Guru? And how to know if we should then share and with whom and whom not?
It's true. There is certain personal experience which one cherishes for oneself. You see, not every experience have to be shared. Certain experiences are personal. It is between you and the Guru. And that is between you and the Guru. This is your personal relationship. That not to be shared. But certain experience which you have had, that you think that can inspire others, then it is important to share it. You see, if that experience have changed your life especially, that experience have transformed you, then it is important to share it with others. That can inspire the change in other people. So, if your experience is personal, this is yours. You don't need to share it. If you don't feel like sharing, don't share it. You see, then if you have that experience, what you have experienced, it's an excitement, it make you happy that, yes, that have changed my life, Of course, then share it freely, And one thing is that very often people say, I have shared my experience, I feel empty. It's not true. You see, if you will share truly your experience, that will make you more strong. It can't make you more weak. So experience God give so that it can inspire others also. But firstly, you have to see that experience in your own life. How it have changed you. Will that be an inspiration to others or not? So you do as you feel inside of you, because nobody is forcing you to, I can say, to share the experience as a how say, inspiration for others to hear it. But nobody is forcing anyone to share it.
Dear Guruji, forgive the question if it is not appropriate. We would like to know, how do you feel when we do puja to you? When we talk to you or offer food or sing to you? Do you feel it and enjoy it like we do?
You laugh because some years ago I had to stop one devotee of offering prasad in the temple because my weight was getting bigger and bigger. You see, people which is around me who knows very well that I don't eat that much. So, but in spite of that, I was getting a little bit fat. So, and the devotee was getting happy and happy. Now I have to stop him. I said, please stop offering these prasad every day like this. It's not healthy for me. So, you see, when you are doing your sadhana, you are doing your prayer, that joy that you're experiencing, I do know about it. Because at that moment, spiritually, I am with you. So, we are sharing that experience also. And this experience have not been now only. It have been in many lives, So, there's a beautiful story of a king. His name was Veerasindhu. This king was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And he had great, bhav, when he was praying and he was doing his sadhana. But he excelled normal devotee and he grew in spirituality. So he did, but in that life, in one of his previous life, he didn't attain that grace of Lord Shiva. So in his next life, he was born again in a kingdom, Kalinga, I think. So when time came for him to be crowned king, so he was crowned king, but then a certain sentiment awake inside of him. But he was not happy. He saw the fertile futility of this world, he didn't feel happy inside of him. He said, even being the king, I have everything, yet I don't have that happiness. Why? So then he started to think. As he was thinking, the samskaras from past life awake inside of him. He started to remember that, yes, I must have something deeper inside of me. I must look for a guru. I must search for the perfect guru who will give me that enlightenment. So he announced in his kingdom, all the saints, sages, sadhus, and everybody will come. So everybody will give him certain mantra. Some would give him the Taraka mantra, some will give him Ashtaka mantra, some will give him Panchadaksha mantra, some will give him Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayana. But nothing will touch his heart and transform him. So he was so angry that he imprisoned all the sadhus. So, because nothing was touching him inside of him, because all this mantra he had been initiated already in previous life. He had already did sadhana on these mantras in previous lives. But yet these mantras have not made him reach to where he had to. At that, Lord Shiva himself decided to come. So Lord Shiva disguised himself as a kuli. Let's say kuli is somebody, a carrier, somebody, a porter. So as he came to the kingdom of King Veera Sindhu, he was in the king, how you call it, Darbar, the hall where the king gave his audience. He just stood there in the middle, looked at the king, and only one thing he said, stop. He just said stop with his hand up, and he disappeared. At that precise moment, something happened inside of the king. He understood what that kuli, that porter, meant by stop. And he recognized that it was the Lord himself who had come to remind him what he was looking for. So, stop at that moment. What he realized was to stop that monkey mind, that mind which was jumping around. That mind must be stopped. So, on his seat, he closed his eyes. He went into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Instantly. So he stayed in that state. So the ministers and the people were waiting for him to come. He was just into that state. The mind stopped. When the mind have stopped, bliss have awake. The bliss of the consciousness, the bliss of the self awake inside of him. So he stayed into that bliss. He was enjoying that state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So they were waiting and waiting. Hours passed, the king didn't come out. Days passed, the king didn't come out. Weeks passed, the king didn't come out. So the minister decided that they have to run the kingdom. So what they did, they took his royal seal from his finger and they carry on the daily activities of the kingdom under the seal of the king. So like that, the king sat on his Singhasan for 6 years into the state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, into that blissful state. After 6 years into that state, he came out. But still being into that blissful state. The first thing he said, "Where is my Guru?" Then the minister came and said, the moment that Kuli have lifted his hand and said, "Stop," he disappeared. And you went into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You went to that state. So then he asked, how many time have passed? He said, 6 years have passed. For him, that 6 years was like few seconds only. So when he realized that, he said, "Take that seal. That seal will be mine, as my representative. When the right moment will come, you will give it to the right king. But for me, I'm retiring to the forest, enjoying eternally that bliss." So you see, when you're doing your sadhana, you have to be fully absorbed, knowing that Guru and God is with you. It's not just a mere prayer, but Guru knows, you see, when you're praying. From wherever you are, like I have said in the previous satsang, we are connected spiritually. We are connected in our heart. We are connected in that love relationship. And that relationship is not only now this relationship. It's a very long relationship. Our Atma is in deep connection. And I was telling you earlier at the beginning about that devotee. It is not a coincidence that you are with somebody for 24, 25 years just like that. It is a relationship that is beyond time and space. And it's a relationship that carries on. And very often, you see, doubt arises in the mind of people. But what is the most important? It is this doubt, or it is that transformation, what happened to you? And I have seen, you see, that transformation in the people. I've seen that transformation in the people which is dear and sincere. That is important, but you have to ask about that sincerity. Only when you have that sincere longing that you will perceive it. So that devotee, what I was saying, that I have told to stop offering food. And she's very special, this devotee, because since I was in, I think second time when I went to Kenya, he asked me once, "Please, Guruji, visit my house." And I was not there. I was not in Kenya. I was in Europe, actually. I said, "Yes, I will come that day. And he was, okay, how would he come? So something happened in his house. He had my slippers, which I was wearing first time when I went to Kenya. So when I met him, I gave it to him. So he had that slippers there. And he was sitting in his prayer room. Of course, the slippers were there. water start oozing from that slippers. And it became so much water that everywhere was like flooded. And I think there's a picture also about it. So you see, for him, it was clear that I was there. I came. He had the sign also. Like that, many devotees have many kind of signs in their life. It should not be the same, but the most important sign is that there is no external sign. The best is that you know it inside of you. That we are in constant communication. We are always in connection with each other. Guru and Bhakta can't be separated. Very often, if you really understand that relationship, you may be separate from your mother, you may be separate from your father, you may be separate from your brother, sister, you may be separate from every single person you know. But with Guru, once you have taken shelter, you can't be separated with him. You may go, you may leave the Guru, you may go and find another Guru, you may go and find another path, you may go from your side, you become negative and disappear. But that relationship the Guru has with you, if it is a true Guru, the Guru never breaks that relationship. So, where the devotee is, the Guru is there. Like the end of Bhagavad Gita, what is the prayer they say? Where Krishna is, where Arjun, the charioteer, the Krishna the charioteer, Arjun the archer, there is prosperity, there is happiness, there is joy. Yeah, that's what Vedanta said. That is my clear conviction. So where the devotee is, the Guru and God is there with them. And this is my conviction, and I know about it.